I'm speaking with Louise Duncan, who represented New Zealand at the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games, riding Showcase BC. While this was her first Paralympic Games, Louise was also longlisted for Tokyo, but because of COVID, New Zealand did not send a team. Over the years, Louise has claimed many victories, leading up to her first Paralympic Games in France. So now my audience wants to know your story. I want you to go back. That very first time you were engaged and really wanted to be involved with horses or ponies or what have you, and how that led you to where you are today.
So my very first memory of a pony would be sitting on a pony called Lady. My mum is a Grand Prix dressage rider, and my dad's a farrier and also did dressage and eventing and a bit of rodeo. So in our family, if you don't speak horse, you do tend to miss out on the conversation a little bit. Lady was the most wonderful little pony. I used her for quite a few years. Mum led me in the lead rein classes on her, and horses are in my blood. I just absolutely can't believe that I would not be riding, because that's just what we do. Then I had a pony called Panda who was amazing, a little dun, and she took me on to win a few little local pony champions in Masterton, New Zealand, where I was born. And then I had a pony called Step 2, which was a 14-2 chestnut that we did some show ring classes on. And I started a little bit of dabbling with dressage properly and did pony club champs with him. And then I was, unfortunately, when I was 17, I had meningitis, and that struck me down a little bit. And it meant that I had to learn to walk, talk, and do everything again. Originally, they told me I wouldn't survive, or they told mum and dad. And they were amazed that I even came out of the coma. I spent 12 months in Palmerston North Hospital learning how to walk and talk again. One of my first things was that I wanted to sit on a horse. And my first word that I learned to speak again was dressage, although it didn't sound very dressage. It was more of a dressage. And Honeyman was my first horse I was able to sit back on. He was my mum's Grand Prix horse that Beth Belsky had lent to us, and he was super safe and looked after me. I took him through to Pony Club Champs, where I was captain for quite a few years, and it wasn't until 2017 when I started getting involved in Equestrian.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. I mean, to overcome that and do what you're doing now is incredible. But I want to know what it was like for you. What was it like to represent New Zealand at the Paralympic Games?
It was absolutely the most amazing feeling. You can't even describe how incredible it was. Being there, wearing the silver fern, I had the whole of New Zealand behind me. The messages I was receiving was just incredible. When I came home from out schooling with Showcase at Gisardi, it was just, there were messages from people I'd never met who live in New Zealand that had connected to me on some level. And the vibes were just amazing and so beautiful and so genuine. People from France who had moved over there 20 years earlier were messaging me, offering a hand, coming to meet Showcase and I, helping us navigate Paris and some of the surroundings, because we didn't speak very good French. In fact, our French was terrible, and the French was so polite and really helpful where they could be. And I just felt so humbled and absolutely can't believe the amount of support I received. It's just amazing.
Can you talk a little bit about Showcase BC? What was he like to ride in that event?
So Showcase BC is my amazing dance partner. His brother, Volkenstein BC, was my Tokyo campaign horse. So they're very similar, but very different in a lot of ways. He is normally a very spicy little number, and he loves to get his dancing shoes on and show off. In Paris, he was just perfect. He didn't put a foot wrong for me. He tried his hardest. I was thinking when he got out there, he might get a little concerned with the crowds. He's not used to that. In New Zealand, we don't have the level of competition like that as much. He has been to Australia with me, but again, it's not the same as a Paralympics Games. And he just got out there and kind of went like, kia ora, I'm a Kiwi, I'm here to do my job, enjoy the show. And I just thought it was fantastic. I was so lucky to have such an amazing horse that is bred here in New Zealand.
I love that. What a great story. Okay, so if you think back now to that experience, what is the one thing that comes to your mind?
Coming through into the field or field of play, for me, just on the day, the palace was stunning. I could feel the whole of New Zealand watching through those cameras to see my test. And it was the power of positivity that I could feel. It was just incredible. I had so much strength coming from New Zealand and showcase. Like I say, he just got out there and was willing to rock it and wanting to show off. So I was just, the vibe was incredible. You can't even explain how amazing that is to feel your horse out there dancing to his best beat and the whole of your country supporting you the whole way through. It was just so beautiful.
Well, you deserve a huge congratulations for doing that. I'm so sure it was beautiful. I know I was there. I covered the Olympic Games, and I know what it was like for you and for me. And I'm so proud that you did that. Well, I want to thank you for chatting with me. Do you have any last words you'd like to say?
Look, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate the time, and thank you to New Zealand for just being such an amazing country that it is. It really is just such a cool place. And anyone that wants to come here, make sure you check us out.
Oh, gosh, beautiful. Great job. Congratulations. And I am Diana DeRosa reporting for the Equus Television Network.